All right. Welcome to the Unicorn. We're talking about all things independent comics. I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
I'm Rebecca.
And today people are back at again with another episode of the Unicorn Presents Transformers More Than Meets the Eye. And today it's a special episode, a lovely special occasion. Again, we're taking advantage of our new budget that we've miraculously acquired. We have the Transformers background in the background. We got the Indie Corner logo. Maybe we got some music to play in the background. That's not Linkin Park because we're not going to get copyrighted or whatever. Whoever's acting Linkin Park, we don't want to get copyright striked. So we got some Transformers themey stuff in the background, maybe for later. Who knows? But today we're going to be doing our first event in this series, Rebecca. Am I correct? The first event?
Yes, and probably, at least for now, the only event we're covering.
Okay.
But we'll see how far we actually get into this.
But yeah, we're talking about this dark Cybertron event, which is like so far it's like 12 issues, but we're doing the first half.
12 issues, which is way too long for an event.
Oh no.
Yeah. But we're going to cover the first half of it.
I don't even think there are Marvel events that are that long. At least nowadays. So yeah. But all right, this is gonna be fun. I read half of it, kind of. We already went over that off camera, but I read half. Don't shake your head at me, Matt. Okay. I don't need your judgment. All right.
It's gonna be more important when Mikey does read all of the issues.
Yeah. But I'm excited. I kind of like this one. Kind of thought it was lit. Most of the art, but yeah, we'll get right into it. So Rebecca, here's your slide, and here's the banner to get to it.
All right, people, it is event comic time.
What the hell? Hold on.
You like those PowerPoint transitions?
Yeah.
Shaking up the book, baby. Here we go.
I'm getting real fancy.
Yeah. All right. So before we get into this, what did we miss back in Robots in Disguise? Which is like
right, because we didn't read it.
Book to this. And it's also the book we're crossing over with.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as you may recall, Robots in Disguise is about the people who stayed back on Cybertron, reforming the government and trying to keep the peace. So the three big characters in this book are Bumblebee, Starscream, and this yellow guy called Metal Hawk. And they represent the Autobots, Decepticons, and Neutrals, respectively. And they're all trying to work together to hold an election for the new leader of Cybertron with all of them in the running.
I want to say this right now. I already said how much I don't like Starscream. I was very upset to see this man in this comic.
I was so excited about Starscream.
Why though?
Well, one of you will like this event then, and another one won't.
Right. Yeah, give me 3 reasons why you think Starscream is valid. Because we'll
talk about him later. We'll talk about him later. He's great in this. He's great. I love him.
Okay.
All right. We'll get back to this later. All right. So sometime into this book, a giant transformer came online for 5 seconds, said Starscream was some kind of chosen one, and went back to sleep. Later still, skinny legend over here, Megatron, shows up out of nowhere, does nothing for 2 issues, and then decides to be evil again, upgrading his body, and revealing to no one in the audience's surprise that somehow he's been orchestrating shady stuff in the background all along.
Wow.
Oh, of course.
It's also revealed that for a while now in this book, Prowl has been being mind controlled, and no one could tell because he's already an unlikable asshole who makes bad decisions. And also, he can turn into the head on Devastator now.
Oh shoot!
Prowl can?
Yes, that's part of the whole like mind control thing. I don't question it. It's just how it is.
Sure.
And Megatron was going to use Devastator to like destroy the city or something. But then Ironhide and the Dinobots minus Grimlock show up with their own combiner friend to fight them.
Okay.
So after the like big guys fight, and the good guy robot inevitably wins, Megatron's like, this isn't over. I'll reform Devastator with me in it. Except when he tries to do that, some sci-fi bullshit happens, and it puts a force field or something around him, putting him to a stop. And then later, they just kind of throw his body in like Starscream's basement or something. I don't know.
Okay.
So while this is happening, Starscream secretly kills Metal Hawk, but frames the battle as having killed him to make a war/factions are bad speech.
Oh, I love it. He's the best.
This Eric Andre meme literally speaks to this is such Starscream shit. I love that's hilarious. Okay.
Yeah, do you like that? I spent an entire 3 minutes making this.
Very
It's worth
good.
it because he's such a grimy character that literally speaks to Starscream and how much I hate him. So that's great.
All right, so after that, Starscream denounces the Decepticons, and this wins him the election. And with this power, he exiles everyone who still wears like an Autobot or Decepticon badge out of the city, including Bumblebee. So out in like the desert or wherever they end up, Bumblebee almost dies and gets this new, worse-looking body.
I hate it.
It's so bad. You don't need to change Bumblebee's design. He's already perfect.
I literally thought like this man's just trying to like is just wearing like an Optimus Prime cosplay that's not working for him. That's what I thought this was, and I was like, oh, it's awful.
Yeah, it's not a good look. And also, the Constructicons join the Autobots as Prowl's personal fan club, and Soundwave becomes temporary leader of the Decepticons and tries to stop Shockwave from doing an event comic, but is unsuccessful. And that's what you missed on Glee.
Okay, got it.
All right, so Dark Cybertron #1. Are you guys ready to get into it?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll have a lot of artists throughout this book. I'm not going to name them all, but their names are on the screen, so shout out to them. And also, all of these issues are written by John Barber and James Roberts, who are both the writers on their respective books.
I will say this: I'm gonna try my best not to like when we get to like the Dead Universe stuff because I love the artwork in that one the most. It's so good. But
okay,
we'll just say that in advance.
All right. So we start off this event with a flashback. This bunch of goons stumble upon a portal to another universe, possibly, as Cyclonus points out, the Dead Universe. But they ignore him and go through it. However, before they go through, one of them, Giaxis, who's like this yellow guy, is able to send a message to his protege, Shockwave, telling him to continue his work. 6 million years later, Shockwave is in contact with his old boss, and they're working together to bring a dead Titan into Shockwave's lair. Upon the Titan's arrival, it comes into contact with a rock called Ore 14 and is brought back to life, causing a bright light to shine across Cybertron. Elsewhere on the planet, Starscream's got a makeover and decides that the sunrise isn't a sun, or it notices that the sunrise isn't a sunrise and decides they should call some good guys to deal with this. Elsewhere, Orion Pax, formerly known as Optimus Prime, is interrupted from his space adventures by the arrival of the Lost Light. They picked up a warning message from Orion's ship saying not to rescue them. So, of course, Rodimus had to come and check it out. While on board, Starscream calls and dumps some exposition. During this, Cyclonus confirms that the readings coming off the sunrise are the same as from the Dead Universe, meaning the whole planet's in danger. Speaking of the planet being in danger, back on Cybertron, Bumblebee and friends can see the light and realize this probably means something big is going to happen, and they're going to need to be prepared to fight. As they say that, a Titan rises out of the ground.
Bro.
Back with Shockwave, he's like, I can see the future now, and oh boy, does a lot of stuff happen in this event. Also, he's working for Galvatron and Nova Prime, and that's kind of like the reveal for this issue if you care about either of those characters, and that's the end of issue 1.
I don't, but
yeah. So I guess I think we talked about it before, but Galvatron's a different guy.
Yeah,
Galvatron is not Megatron.
He's not Megatron. He's just some guy.
Yeah, he's not like the Galvatron.
He's an entirely separate character in this. No connection.
Right.
He's not like Galvatron from like Transformers 4, where he's just like Megatron but like bootleg. So
yeah.
I mean, in some ways he's still a bootleg Megatron, but he's not actually Megatron, you know?
No, but yeah, I don't care for either. I mean, Nova Prime is, I guess, a villain that exists.
Yeah, Galvatron, I don't care about him.
Yeah, Galvatron's just his bitch to me. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know who Nova Prime is.
I do. If you're a Prime and your name's not Optimus, I do not care about you. I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah. But Optimus Prime was in this.
He was in this,
and we haven't seen him before, and that was super cool. That's one of my one of my favorite things about reading this crossover so far is getting to see Optimus Prime.
Well, I mean, we did see him, but like we saw him in that flashback, and we saw him in that one shot right when we started this series. So
Yeah, he's not like a regular character.
yeah.
We're not hanging out with Orion Pax every week.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Still a dumb name. That's still such a stupid name, Orion Pax. But like
It's growing on me.
it's going on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm pretty used to it.
I ranted about that. I think just the last time I was on two episodes ago. I talked about how I thought that was pretty dumb, or maybe it was one before that. It doesn't matter. And I still think it's dumb, but it's growing on me.
Yeah. But
all right. So I don't really have any thoughts for issue 1. It's all set up. There's a lot of plot in these, so they might go by kind of quick.
yeah, word. I mean, I'll say this: the that page where that Titan burst out of the ground, hard page. It's the thumbnail of the video because I thought it was so cool. Yeah, whoever drew that, I don't know who it is, but they killed it. It's good shit.
Are Titans just big Transformers?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're just ginormous.
Okay.
I mean, where there's one that like the only one I ever knew growing up is in this book, and I was happy to see him in it. So we'll talk about that when it comes to that. But yeah, Titans are just ginormous, like huge Transformers, the biggest. So yeah,
The big boys.
the big boys. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to issue 2. This is also the same as More Than Meets the Eye, number 23. So if you're reading just More Than Meets the Eye, you'll encounter half the issues in this event. All right, and again, before we start, different artists on these books. So this issue starts with B and his team surrounding the Titan, ready to blast away if something starts happening. But as they mentioned, it probably won't do any good since they're so tiny in comparison. Over on the Lost Light, Rodimus and Orion go to Brainstorm's lab. The two will have to travel into the dead universe to stop whatever's happening. But as Brainstorm explains, just entering the universe will trigger it to start killing you horribly. So they need to make some gear to defend themselves. Later, Ultra Magnus, Orion, and Rodimus all meet up at Swerve's to discuss their next moves. As they talk, Swerve's trying to take pictures of the three of them in his bar. And the three also discuss if Megatron could possibly be behind this, since Megatron's kind of behind everything.
Right.
Shortly after that, Brainstorm comes up with some force field generators to protect them from the dead universe, and the team prepares to go through a nearby portal. So Rodimus, Orion, Cyclonus, and a few of Orion's crew descend into the portal, with the rest of the crew staying back to chase after a war criminal. Back on Cybertron, Starscream visits this guy. His name is Scoop. And he believes in all the like Chosen One stuff surrounding Starscream. According to him, Starscream is the Chosen One, but it's not in a good way, and it's more like in a kind of Antichrist kind of way. Over with Shockwave, it's revealed that the plan here is to let Galvatron Nova Prime in from the dead universe to conquer this universe, but they can't cross over at the moment. Meanwhile, Rodimus and co. land in the dead universe, which strangely appears to be dying itself. They get attacked by some space monsters, but manage to fend them off, and then Cyclone starts coughing up blood.
Those are cool monsters. I love those monsters.
Yeah, they're like
They're
slugs.
just like little worms.
Yeah, they're awesome.
So the team decides to follow a trail of space debris to wherever it leads, and as they fly away, we see somebody watching them. Finally, to end this issue, Bumblebee and Prowl are talking as they guard the Titan about how B needs to take more charge and not hesitate on making calls when they're attacked by what's left of the main Decepticons. Right. And that's the end of issue 2. Mm-hmm. Like I said, lots of plots in these issues, so if there's any like thing you want to talk about within there, feel free to bring it up.
I kind of want to talk about Starscream.
No. No.
I think he's great. I love that conversation with what's his name, Scoop, the guy who really believes he's the Antichrist. I love how Starscream's like, no, I don't believe this at all, but I'm absolutely going to use it to my benefit. I love how he dropped the Decepticon thing immediately as it became useless. He just decided, I'm not I can't talk. I'm sorry. I'm not a Decepticon anymore. Now I'm whatever he is, and he made himself king. it's so good. But also you didn't mention, because it doesn't matter, but he's got a rat trap hanging out with him.
Yeah.
And I think that's hilarious because Rat Trap is basically, and they say as much, he's basically his Starscream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like he's
I think that's
he's
so
like
funny.
the smaller Starscream that's from the Bronx. Like it's just like
Yeah. I didn't mention it because he's not really that important, but
No.
also John Barber or whoever wrote this section, stop trying to write accents because it is kind of not it.
yeah.
No, the accent is obnoxious. The accent's obnoxious and kind of really annoying. But I love the character. I just love the idea of Starscream dealing with himself.
I don't know if it's in this issue or it's like some of the Robots in Disguise one, but there's a point where he's talking to Rat Trap. He's like, "Don't try to out Starscream me."
That's so good.
That's hilarious.
Brilliant. I love it so much.
He would be that type of guy. He's just petty. It makes sense. He would be that type of guy. But
that's why I love Starscream, because no matter what he's doing, some shit is getting stirred up, and
that's true.
He's dramatic. He's so dramatic. I love it.
Yeah, no, I thought this issue, because I read this one, I thought this issue was really cool. I love seeing like just Orion and Ultra Magnus and Rodimus all interact with each other and try to like come up with a plan. I think it's such a cool thing. The fact that like Swerve is enamored by it and is like taking a fanboy pic. Like it's just like, again, like those really like fun moments there. I think are really that make this book shine for me. Just like the casual, just like fun moments. Yeah, this whole like dark like dead universe thing is pretty interesting. I mean, again, it's dumb sci-fi bullshit, which I'm like used to because I read comics. So, but but like I mean, but like that's kind of fun and like seeing like like there's someone out there watching another generic looking Transformer. Ooh, it's like it's a good setup here. Again, the Starscream stuff. I don't like Starscream, but like I can't deny that like it's pretty funny watching him try to be Megatron or like try to be like a leader, but then he's just being like he's just being petty Starscream, and yet with his own.
It's kind of interesting that he's like the guy in charge, so there's no one he can like Starscream to anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
It's such a fun situation to see him in.
And what's it called? Talk about the art right quick because there's like 3 artists on this book. James Race being one of them. Again, we talked about him like last episode. Because Matt, I don't know if you're aware, but he's like a really big YouTuber and he's like does artwork for like celebrities and shit. But I always I like seeing his artwork in this book, especially with like the Lost Light characters. Because I don't know why, because he's really good with detail. He packs a lot of detail into his artwork, and and I don't know, in the way like he does the anatomy of the Transformers, they feel like they kind of do feel more alien to me when he's drawing them. I don't know what it is, but that's not what I was talking about. So the dead universe shit, I love it so much. Yeah, that page right there, son. It is. Whoever, I think his name is. I looked it up. His name is Livid Ramondelli. This art is ridiculous. I wish this was the artwork for Transformers throughout this entire series. It looks like concept art. It looks incredible. I love that digital painted look that he's doing with it. Oh god, I love the exaggeration of like the big fucking like things on Optimus' head. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I'm done now.
Yeah. I think this artist, I think his panels can be a little stiff sometimes, but he's definitely like talented,
Yeah. I want to see him do more Transformers books. I
also don't remember if we talked about this on camera or not last episode, but you said you like the really detailed styles and I like the cartoony styles.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. Yeah. Which again, listen, it's difference of opinion, but I respect it. I respect it nonetheless.
Right. So ready for issue 3. All right. So this issue starts out with Starscream complaining to Metalhawk's corpse about how being a leader is hard and how people want him to do something about the giant guy standing menacingly outside the city. So he decides he's going to try talking to the big guy. While Starscream's flying off, Scoop, who's the prisoner guy, is warning Rat Trap, Starscream's assistant, henchman, whatever you want to call him, that they can't let Starscream get to the Titan because it will destroy them all. And Rat Trap's like, damn, I hope so. I'm trying to take his job, you know?
That's hilarious.
Aboard the Lost Light, the crew discovers that even though the engines are off, the ship is still moving and that it's being pushed by a Titan's thumb that they acquired in some spin-off one-shot we didn't read.
Okay.
Getaway believes that hold on, I can't read my own notes. Getaway believes that this is whoever this Titan is way of trying to communicate with them where their body is.
Mm-hmm.
They decide that helping the big guy is more important than their current mission and follow the Thumb's lead, only to end up underwater somewhere with bots surrounding them. And I am skipping around the issue a little bit since there's like 4 different storylines going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so back with the Titan, the Autobots and Decepticons have temporarily stopped fighting as they notice Starscream, who neither of them like, approaching. RC gets ready to blast him, and Prowl says they should shoot him down, but Bumblebee hesitates and says something strange is going on, which Soundwave agrees with. So Starscream's like, hey buddy, what's up with all this rising out of the ground? And then the thing immediately lets out some giant energy wave. So this wave takes down the nearby Autobots and Decepticons and reaches the nearby city as well, demolishing it. Within the ruins of the city, the wave brings back Metalhawk from the dead. He kicks Starscream's ass for a while for killing him and takes a captured Megatron and leaves. And we see Megatron was brought to Shockwave's lair, ending the issue. So what do we think about issue 3 here?
I mean, listen, I don't want to sound like a complete fanboy, but Starscream, once again, my guy. I loved when he was trying to. I mean, first of all, when he was flying over the Decepticons and the Autobots, and they were all shit talking to him. Fantastic. When he tried to stop the wave entirely futilely, I thought that was super cool. He got his ass kicked. He did everything you want to see from Starscream. It was fantastic. I love it.
I live for
what else happened in the city?
Not a whole lot. It was mostly just watching Starscream go places, and also the Lost Light like ended up somewhere.
Yeah.
I live for Starscream being down bad. I live for that shit. I live for those moments.
It's so funny. I don't know.
That's okay, Matt. Take your time.
Thanks, Mikey.
Yep.
That's all I've got.
Okay. It is cool. It's a cool issue. I love Starscream getting shit on. It's great. I live for that shit.
Yeah. I swear when I did these slides, they took me like hours, but now that I'm reading them back in minutes, I'm like, damn, not a whole lot to talk about.
I mean, seeing Megatron is dope, though. I mean, I think it's like, what is the first time I think we saw him like doing the show so far? Well, like see him like in the present day. It's in the show so far.
As far as our reading goes, this is really the first time we've seen Megatron in the present day.
Yeah, because last time we saw him was when Overlord was flashbacking, we're having like PTSD moments seeing him, which is like hilarious. So, and he looked different. So,
yeah, one problem, and it's not with this book, and it's not really a problem, but after we get done this event, the whiplash between how they write Megatron is so severe, because before this, he's like crazy evil. Right. And after this, he's something completely different.
The thing is, like, right? I kind of, when I was looking ahead, I looked ahead a little bit. I didn't read it, but I saw a cover, and I was like, oh, so this is what they're doing with Megatron. Okay. That's interesting. Well, yeah, okay.
We leave Matt in the dark, so it's fun when he discovers.
I know that they do something with Megatron in the IDW run. I know people talk about how Megatron is like a highlight of the book or something, or they do something cool with him. I don't know.
It works for some people and it doesn't for others. You kind of have to let it play out and enjoy it for what it is, even if you don't like it. Okay. I like it personally, but I just think he's also like a fun character to like follow around.
I'm looking forward to it.
But granted, like when you think about it, in terms of like Megatron as a character, what they do with him makes it like spices things up a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Like I said, we're shaking up the book. That's what an event is all about.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to issue 4 here. We got 5 artists on this thing.
Dude, it was ridiculous. And it's crazy because it's so jarring when you read it because the art changes so much during like what scene they're trying to show, which I think it's a lot, but you know.
Like I said, I don't think this needed to be 12 issues. I think if we said we're gonna do like a 6-issue like crossover, whatever, and we're gonna focus on the characters and the plot, because there's so much plot in this. It's an overwhelming amount of plot, you know.
Yeah, 12 issues is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Even before, you know, how much, like you said, how much plot there is. This is ridiculous.
Again, I don't remember any Marvel events, at least in like the modern era, that are this long. And if there was, I would have dropped off halfway. So
Marvel events are already too much at like 4 issues.
that's true.
Yeah.
All right, but continuing on, starting this issue back with the Lost Light. Again, they're surrounded by some little robots who they believe hitchhiked on their ship when it jumped out of space. Magnus tries to talk to them and believes that if they were aggressive, they would have already attacked them. However, he's proven wrong when they blast through the glass, flooding the ship. With the bridge flooded, the crew begins to evacuate. Skids realizes the people attacking them are the aliens from the last issue of last volume, who can also transform, and he says they'll have to take the rod pod to escape.
I would not go. My eyes fucking rolled when I heard that. When I read this, I was like, Rodimus, you narcissistic douche. What is wrong with you?
It feels so right, though.
It's so funny.
Outside, the crew tries to fight off the attackers and protect the ship when the aliens start to combine into a giant robot, but this just gives the crew a bigger target and they're able to blast right through it and run away. As they're running, they notice this cave they're in has some really weird, unnatural structures, and Ratchet has a realization, and again, I'm skipping around here in the book. Mm-hmm. They're inside a Titan called Metroplex.
Bruh, I was done. Okay? I was done. I loved it. Sorry to cut you off, but I loved it so much.
What's this guy's deal? Who is he?
He's a big guy.
He's like the Titan Autobot, bro. I love it's so cool. Hold on, I'm a solo.
I think he turns into a city.
He does. That's
why that makes sense.
Listen,
Metroplex.
I'm gonna solo layout for a second because I love this character so fucking much because last time I saw him in anything was in Fall of Cybertron and it was awesome. Got me bricked up. I love Metroplex. He's ridiculous, but I love him. So yeah, that's Lord, I was so happy. I was so happy that I read.
So you had to get on your soapbox for a second there.
Oh yeah, man. Oh God, Metroplex. I mean, I thought he was a cool character in that game, even though you don't really play as him. But like, he was a really cool side character. He's a part of the plot, but I thought it was so cool. Yeah, it's good stuff. So I was happy to see him and that they addressed him in this issue.
All right. So, continuing, over in the Dead Universe with Rodimus and Orion, one of Orion's crew, Hardheads, is giving Rodimus shit for leaving the planet to go on an adventure, and Rodimus is like, hey, did you almost die recently? Because it was me who stopped that. You're welcome. And then Hardhead's like, okay, well, if Orion asked you to take over things on Cybertron, would you? And Rodimus says yes, and Orion chimes in like, hey, I'm sure B is doing a great job, just like Rodimus is probably doing a great job on his little quest.
Oh, Lord.
Finally, in this scene, Cyclonus is still struggling, and Orion tells Orion not to touch him to try to help. And the bot who is following them reveals himself to be a guy named Nightbeat.
Terrible name.
Yeah, Nightbeat. Back on Cybertron, Starscream has been marked with something which Scoop points out proves he's some kind of world destroyer.
I have a question. Is that shape on his chest the same shape that something last volume? Remember that thing that spoke in shapes?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. I'm not sure. It
I
could
don't
be.
remember what the whole deal with that was.
I still don't know what the deal with that was.
Yeah, when
I think
Dickhead,
it's maybe the same shape.
yeah,
I didn't go back. I didn't go back and check,
yeah,
but
when Dickhead went into that portal and then talked to a moon that could only speak in symbols. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah. And then one of the symbols was just like a scribble. I didn't check, so maybe I could be entirely wrong.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay.
All right. So elsewhere, the Autobots and Decepticons have more or less allied themselves for the time being and decide they need more information about what's going on before they start shooting again. Soundwave says he can't pick up anything from the city, but he can hear one thing: Megatron screaming.
It's just a Wilhelm scream. It's just a Wilhelm scream in the back.
That would be so good. Anyway, Shockwave says Megatron can join them, or he can have victory over the or he should join them so he can have victory over the Autobots. And Megatron's like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna work with the guys you want to put in. I'm not gonna work with the guy who wants to put my oppressors back in power. And Shockwave's like, well, whatever. I'm just using you for your body anyway. By the way, I put a space bridge, which is just like a portal inside your body. And then we see one of the villains, Nova Prime, come out of Megatron's chest. And that's the end of this part of the story and all the stuff that happened in this issue.
Bro.
Right.
Nova Prime is just the Andrew Tate of this book.
That's my thing is my what I'm really struggling with this one, I think, is that like Nova Prime and Galvatron are the villains, right?
And you don't care?
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know what. Spoilers. They want to do stuff with Galvatron, which fine. But why is this other guy here? I do not care about him. Nobody cares about him.
Because I don't even remember him in previous volumes. Like he just shows up here. Like
yeah. And if you're going to be like, if you're going to put like these guys as villains, like make me care about them. Make them do something that's not just waiting to do evil stuff, you know?
Yeah. Right. They have these guys show up like, look, it's these guys. You know these guys. I don't know these guys.
I mean, again, as I said, Nova Prime is the Andrew Tate in this book. No one wanted him. No one asked for him. He just appeared. And like that's it, you know? So I don't know. I don't really know what to say about Nova Prime or Galvatron. I just kind of forgot that they're in this event entirely while I was reading it. So
they shouldn't be in this event.
Yeah.
This event should just be like Shockwave as the villain. So I don't know.
That's what I thought it was, you know, but like, you know, but it's just not that, unfortunately. So
yeah.
When we'll get James, when we'll get what's his name, John Barber of the hell, or James Robinson on the podcast at some point, we're gonna ask them these questions. Be like, why would you do that? Yeah, why would you do that? Why? You know? So yeah. But
what do we think about the Lost Light Crew stuff in this? Since this is technically a More Than Meets the Eye issue.
It's fun. It's good stuff. I listen. Anything involving the Lost Light Crew is just fun. It's just a lot of fun. I'm trying to like look through the issue just to be sure like what happened. Because like again, I'm trying to like recollect what happened with these. But because I think of them trying to escape these again the miniature. I could call them. I know they have a name. Like
they call them mini cons in this.
Yeah, Ammonites. I was gonna call them microbots because that just sounds cooler. But you know, hearsay. But I like the fact that like, you know, because we saw them in the last issue of last volume, and I'm happy that, you know, they're again a pattern with this book, with this series, that like everything you see in prior issues will get brushed up upon. So I like that they brought them back in this. So that was really fun. I love how like Ultra Magnus, like while he's trying to like make peace with them, he's talking to them in like he says something that like he's used to saying in like his like position like in the Autobot. I thought it was so funny. But he had to correct himself right quick, and I was like, ha, Ultra Magnus, look at you, can't shake it, can you? It was so funny. But yeah, no, I think it's good stuff. I think it's really fun. That, you know, and it's kind of like especially with some of the pages that like Race does. Especially like that one page, Rebecca, where you see like them like actually face them the mini cons as like our giant monster. It was kind of like, it was some good, like, that was kind of a cool horror moment in there. I was like, that's really nice. It's good stuff. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, the Dead Universe stuff, I like a little bit. I mean, even though I kind of didn't realize what was going on, but then you have Nightbeat show up, and I'm like, what a dumb name. Like again, more dumb names in this series that I'm not liking. But like, you know,
well, we'll see in the next issue here. He's kind of like a detective type character, which is
so like
Nightbeat.
Nightbeat. Oh, okay. God, it's so stupid.
It's still stupid, but
yeah,
that's the reasoning.
Yeah, but so like that stuff is cool. The stuff in Cybertron, and then like all of them trying to face this gargantuan monster titan, and they're not making a dent is just so funny to me. Like in this situation, what can you do? Like, what can you do when you're facing a Decepticon or whatever, or a Necro Titan that's like literally like 50 times the size of you? Like, what that it's
Yeah.
I like how they're trying to
figure out anything. You just got to take it. You know?
Yeah, like it's that, so I like how like Prowl and them and B are trying to figure out how to stop it, but it's nothing's working, and it's great. But yeah, no, this issue was fun, but the whole Megatron stuff. I mean, Megatron being a space bridge. I mean, it's dumb, but I mean, it's comics. Who cares? But yeah, I don't know. That's all I guess. I thought it was solid. It was a solid issue.
I don't much care for the Bumblebee plot. Also, Bumblebee's design annoys me.
Dude,
yeah. Again, you don't need to do anything with Bumblebee.
Yeah, why ruin it, bro? Like, it's just like he looks like he's just trying too hard to be Optimus.
The blue head is so ugly.
It's so bad. But I'm also just happy to see my boy Metroplex, man. The man's big dick Metroplex, bro. It's great.
Oh, I do have something to say a little bit. I love the scenes with like Rodimus just complaining to all.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I think they're so fun, and there's a great moment next volume that I can't wait to get to.
Question though, when was Hardhead ever? Hardhead was never in the previous volumes.
No, he's part of like Orion's.
He's on Orion's crew. All right, gotcha. All right, makes sense. So I'm just like, I feel like. Again, like I feel like from the previous volumes, from like More Than Meets, I feel like have I seen this guy before? But again, like most of these Transformers look the fucking same to me. So like, you know, I kind of got confused. But okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, the Dead Universe plot with that's where they are, right?
Optimus the Dead Universe, yeah,
or Orion, I suppose, and Rodimus and Nightbeat. Now, this is the part of the book that I really really enjoy.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it's definitely one of the stronger sections of this book. The rest it kind of feels like stuff's just happening.
I think it's just the banter between them is like very just like Optimus is like just the dad, and then like Rodimus is just the annoying son that won't like shut up and like won't stop complaining. It's like
right, and we get to see Rodimus in a different light. This entire time he's been a leader, and he's been trying to be Optimus Prime. And now, you know, we're
Optimus
what
is right there.
We're episode 6. It's the first time we've really seen them interacting, and we see how Rodimus is kind of a fanboy and how much he looks up to him, and he kind of turns into a child when Optimus Prime's around, and that's really fascinating. Rodimus, I think, it's just my favorite character in this book.
There's also, I skipped over it because we're covering more plot this issue, you know. But I think in the first issue of this event, there's a moment where Orion comes on the ship and Ultramagnus is like, "Should I assume you're taking over?" And Rodimus is like, "Wait a second." You know?
Yeah.
Like, he definitely wants to prove himself.
That's true.
Yeah.
And we'll see this now. I'll probably talk about this next issue, but I love the fact that, like, you know, Rodimus will complain, Optimus will just give him an answer. But like, to me, when I'm reading this book, my headcanon was just like Optimus just saying "stop being a bitch." Like, that's literally like all he says. Like, you know, like
basically.
But he's not, though. He's understanding, and he loves his son.
He's like genuine about it, but it comes off as like
listen. He's saying "stop being a bitch," but like he's doing it out of love, Matt. This is a difference.
Okay, sure.
It's all about context. But yeah,
Sounds like Matt's dad never told him to stop being a bitch. That's what I'm getting from this.
I don't know about that necessarily.
All
right, let's move on. All right, so Dark Cybertron, number 5. This is a Robots in Disguise issue.
Oh yes, more Olivia Remendelli art. Let's go. Okay.
All right, so picking up, Nova Prime and Galvatron are popping out of Megatron's chest.
This image just looks so dumb. I love it.
I
love it.
Also, can we talk about the snatched waist on a
Dude.
That makes me giggle.
Yo,
it's so dumb.
He's been rocking that waist trainer for sure. I think it's like, okay, just side note, I didn't read this clearly, but yeah, because I only saw the page where like Megatron, like the people like the Nova Prime jumps out of Megatron. I haven't seen like a bunch of just Transformers come out of it. This is a shock to me. I'm like, this is stupid, but like, you know, it's whatever. You know,
I love it. These two
goons
crawling out of Megatron. He's just screaming. This whole image. It's so good.
I'm telling you right now,
I love the way they drew him screaming. It's so funny.
His mouth wide open.
Because fun fact, right? While I was researching this book on YouTube, there are people that have made motion comics of this. I hope someone used the Wilhelm scream in their video of, because I hope that's what Megatron sounds like.
Mikey, if you clip this, you know what you gotta do.
Oh hell yes, yes, you're right. Future Mikey, you know what to do when you edit.
All right, so they're crawling out of his chest, but as they do, the Autobots and Decepticons launch an attack. As they're fighting, Beast sees Metal Hawk and tries to talk him out of fighting them, but unfortunately, he's got a case of the brought back to life crazies.
Okay, hold on. Rewind the tape. Go back a slide. Okay, I couldn't figure out who this was. Who's the cat transformer?
Oh, that's Ravage. He's Soundwave's cat.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I remember him now. All right. Continue.
All right.
No, I don't continue. Do we know how Metal Hawk came back to life? Did I miss something?
Yeah, it was that wave the big guy sent out. It brings things back to life.
Oh, okay, got it.
Right. Also, the gang comes up with this great plan to stop the bad guys. That's just pushing them back into Megatron's chest and bring Megatron.
That's so stupid. I'm sorry.
It's so dumb.
It's great. I love it.
And then all you hear is.
But while they're doing this, Skywarp, who's just a purple Starscream over here, begins going ghost, and they aren't successful in freeing him. Then Shockwave gets a weapon that lets him control yet another Titan, because we didn't have enough of those already, and that also rises from the ground.
So this is now the third Titan, right? There's the one that Starscream talked to, Metroplex, and now this one?
Yes.
Yeah. And also, do they explain why these Titans are just buried? I didn't really get any like background on that while I was reading. Like, are they just like? Really? Is there a reason?
Not really. No, they're just kind of there.
Okay.
All right. So the group. Hold on. Why isn't this going forward? Oh, there we go. Wait. Okay, yeah. So the group retreats, and somehow Megatron escaped on his own, I guess, and shows up ready to be a team player and listen to Bumblebee.
Mm-hmm.
But just then, Galvatron sneaks up behind him and rips him in half before fleeing.
Oops.
I've also noticed a trend in this. A lot of dudes get ripped in half.
Yeah, that seems to keep coming up.
Matt, it doesn't kind of remind you of Invincible a little bit, where like in this book people get ripped in half, but in Invincible people get their fucking chest driven through. It's I love that.
Yeah. No, I was actually thinking of the Michael Bay Transformers movie when who was it? Jazz gets ripped in half.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But sure, yeah. Also Invincible.
Wait, when did this book? When was this? When did this come out? Like this series around this time? Because like
probably like 2013, 14, I would say.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. No, okay. My theory is that James Roberts was a big fan of the first Michael Bay Transformers movie. Saw that iconic moment in that film, and made sure that every freaking Transformer got ripped in half. Out of respect to that moment. You know?
Well, I think it's a natural desire to want to rip a robot in half. You see a robot, your instinct is rip it in half.
Yeah. Well, when you rip a human in half, it's just icky. But when you do a robot, it's like, ooh.
Exactly, it's cool.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so for the end of this section of plot, Shockwave's like, okay, time to start killing people for real now.
Right.
Over in the Dead universe, Rodimus is talking now at me. He's like, hey, aren't you supposed to be dead? And Nightbeat's like, yeah, Hardhead over here killed me because I was a sleeper agent for the bad guys, but it's cool because they asked him to do it, and also I'm alive here somehow.
Right.
Then they introduce Nightbeat to Cyclonus, and he shows how smart he is by giving him a BBC Sherlock reading. And basically, Cyclonus threatens to kill him because he says that Nightbeat deduces that he has feelings, basically.
I love that scene. I think it's really fun.
Yeah, like I said, it's a little BBC Sherlock, but I'm willing to overlook it.
I love that shit.
I've never seen Sherlock, so I'm out of the loop here. I don't get it.
I used to be super into Sherlock.
Yeah, it was a different time. You had to be there.
That's right.
Then after following Nightbeat around a bit, he reveals, surprise, he's still a sleeper agent and traps the gang in a cube. Finally, we see Nova Prime is back here and is back here after being shoved from the other end of the portal.
Okay.
Pushed him back through.
That's hilarious. But the thing is, like, again, when I read the issue that I read and I saw, like, Nova Prime here, I was like, huh. I thought this was a different character. Granted, because, again, they're different art styles, and obviously, Livid's art style is incredible. And I thought this was a whole new character that just showed up. And I was like, all right, this book's a mess, but but I was like, oh, okay, it's Nova Prime, but he looks better done in Livid style, I think, than the other ones that we've seen. So
yeah, I think that image there is really cool.
It's really
cool. I don't care about Nova Prime, but that's a cool picture of a robot.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, that's all that happens this issue. Like we kind of said a second ago, I think the stuff with Nightbeat's introduction, reading Cyclonus is fun, even though it's a lot. Yeah. Very remnant of 2014, but I guess that was Sherlock's Prime. So.
It sure was. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's okay.
I was going to put a joke in there about not being able to plug in your iPhone first try, but I left it out. So.
You should have kept it. But no, okay. All right. I have nothing to say on this issue. They're in a box now, which was like, I was like, when I read the issue I read, I was like, oh, they're suddenly in a box now. That's cool. But yeah, it's a cool issue, I guess. I don't know. I don't really have anything to say on it.
Yeah, not too much really happens this issue. It's basically just a giant fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It almost feels like this event didn't need to be 12 issues long.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like Matt, name a shitty event in Marvel. Just name a random shitty event.
Fear Itself.
I mean, imagine getting 12 issues of Fear Itself.
Yeah.
I would have killed myself. I don't know if I could. I don't like Fear Itself either. It's so bad.
I didn't read Fear Itself. I don't know why that's what my mind went to.
Oh yeah. But
your heart just knows it's shitty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Events shouldn't be 12 issues. They should just be 4 at the most. 6 at the most.
I'm willing to give you 6 for an event.
Yeah.
But any more than that, and you need to do some reworking.
Listen, James Roberts, we know you're watching this. Take some notes, man. Some good stuff. Good stuff here.
All right, so time for our final issue of the volume, issue number 6. So opening on Cybertron, things are not looking so good for our heroes as they're incredibly outclassed and underpowered. Over with the Lost Light crew, they're still swimming in the Titan's retinal cavity.
Juices. The retinal juices.
Yeah. Ratchet says these guys are so big that the Titan could technically be dead on the inside and not know it on the outside yet, but he's not really sure what's going on because they're so different from the normal size guys.
Yeah, because it's because they have they have like ginormous sparks. So like, I guess the spark energy or whatever doesn't travel all throughout the body because it's so large. I don't know. It's dumb. It's stupid.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's an event comic. None of this really matters. So they take a sample of the water they're floating, or the retinal juice, if you prefer, that they're floating around in, and head to the brain. And they call in Swerve to put his degree to use for once, but it goes to voicemail.
His degree.
As they arrive at the brain cavity, the crew is surprised to learn that it's empty and continue exploring towards his heart until they hit a dry part of Metroplex, where they can dock the rod pod. Outside the ship, the crew tries to follow these painted arrows to Metroplex's spark, but realize the arrows have led them back to where they started. Whirl gets frustrated and begins to attack the rod pod when Ultra Magnus stops him and they notice something is ticking. Turns out one of the alien robots hitched a ride and hooked up an explosive to the rod pod, which he detonates. Cut to Cybertron. Starscream is actually kind of being a decent leader and checking in on his injured citizens. Apparently there was a 4.6 instant fatality rate, but most of those guys who died were weak from the last time things got dicey on Cybertron, which was like maybe a few weeks ago. One of the citizens yells at Starscream for being a shitty chosen one, and the doctor he's talking to is like, man, yelling people sure is the problem with being in charge. But before Starscream can yell at him in response, he literally pulls a, he's right behind me, isn't he?
I died, man.
As the Titan stomps into the city.
I died. That was so funny. Like the fact that like Starscream gets read the riot act by like an insignificant like Transformer that we've never seen before, and I was like, yes, more shitting on Starscream. There we go. But then like you just see Starscream, he tried to defend himself so much that he forgot. Oh yeah, there's a fucking Titan destroying everything behind me. Hilarious. I thought that was a fun moment.
Yeah. So cut to the cube in the dead universe. Rodimus and friends are still trapped there with Nightbeat watching. Orion notices a crack in the wall where it was hit and punches Rodimus to keep Nightbeat from paying attention to it. However, what really gathers Nightbeat's attention is something Rodimus has on his hand, and seeing this messes with Nightbeat's head. Then Nova Prime shows up and tells everyone how lame they are and how they're stupid for coming to the dead universe because they only took a one-way portal in. Suddenly, a Hardhead breaks the containment area and tries to fight Nova Prime, but he has his force field generator in his palm broken, leaving him to be eaten away by the dead universe. So basically, he gets dusted.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Finally, to end this volume, Nova tells the others he'll be moving them to a second location to meet someone he's holding captive to use as another space bridge. The end.
Yeah, and like here's the thing, right? I was like, I don't know who this is, and I don't know if I was supposed to recognize who this mysterious person was, but I was like, did Megatron get like a makeover? Like that's what I thought. Like,
no. If I remember correctly, I think this is Cup, but he doesn't really matter for anything we're gonna read. So
okay,
Cup.
Yeah, he's there
again. James, come on. What's with these names, bro?
What does Cup turn into?
A cup?
I think I don't know. It's like one of the G1 characters. He's like the old guy.
Okay.
Oh, okay. But what did he transform into, though? Like
I think it's like a truck. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. All right. I mean, at least transform into something useful. That's good. So, yeah, nah, fuck. Yeah, this issue was, it was cool. I mean, a lot. Like mostly it was just action stuff happened. Again, Starscream got yelled at, which was great. Oh yeah, fucking Orion Pax backhanded Rodimus. I was like, bro, yes, you see, like it's like even though he's like it was just a distraction, it was just a distraction. All right, it's a distraction to make sure that we can like get out of here. No, I think Orion meant to slap him.
I mean, he didn't warn him, so
yeah, exactly. He didn't warn him, so he meant to slap him to remind him to stop being a bitch. That's why he did it. So, I don't know. I mean, that was fun. But again, like the Dead Universe stuff I think is cool, even though like I didn't really realize that like at first that like Rodimus put his hand up to the screen and that like to the cube. That's what snapped. You
don't know what's on his hand yet. That's going to be discussed next volume.
Yeah.
Okay.
I read ahead by accident, but it's just I don't know. I didn't from the way like the panel work like dealt with. I didn't notice it at first, so I was like, okay, you know what? That makes sense. Other than also fucking the Lost Light crew. They're literally the Goonies in this. They're literally the fucking Goonies in this book. When they have to they follow you forgot about the arrows that are like conveniently placed throughout Metroplex. I don't know if we talked about that at all, but like
we did talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that was the funniest thing ever, and I was like, they're just the Goonies, bro. It's just stupid. Like it's fun.
They don't have anything to do here, so they just send him on like a quest.
yeah, it's just fun. Like, and yeah, I thought that was really like fun moment. Thank God that the rod pod is destroyed. Or like I got blown up at least because I hate that thing. It's just like Rodimus, really? Like, come on. It's just,
you have no taste. The rod pod is awesome,
dude. It's like something you gotta like pit my ride, bro. Like it's a lot. And like, are you actually gonna drive it around? No.
Yes.
So like,
are you saying if you had a car shaped like your face, you wouldn't drive it around?
Hell no. Why would I? No, you kidding? You what? No, that's not okay. I wouldn't. But yeah, nah. I just thought that was funny. I was like, the rod pod got blown up. Thank God. Like it just, But yeah, no. This issue was it was a good issue. I like this issue a lot. It was fun.
It's good. I'm excited to get back to our Lost Light shenanigans.
Yeah,
I was saying this off screen. And I guess we can kind of move into final thoughts with this too, if we want.
Yeah.
Okay.
This event, I feel like over time, when I first read this, I just kind of skimmed through it. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Reading it like for real, I'm like, damn. First of all, this doesn't need to be 12 issues long, which, we've talked about already. It just feels like stuff happens, but it doesn't matter because stuff's happening and most of it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know if it was like, I don't know what they were thinking when they wrote this event because there's so much going on. It's not connected yet. And when it does connect, it's like kind of underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
This is more just kind of like something we have to get through because this is what our characters are doing,
Yeah, exactly. And
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I got distracted by Mikey's music.
No, just let it happen. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris is on the chat. Hold on, comment. Chris is like, he says he misses the rod pod. I'm like, no, you don't. Stop it. Stop lying to yourself. It's no. But
Question of the day: would you drive a car that was shaped like your face? Yes or no?
I'll put that in the community post for tonight. I'll make a poll. But nah, this thing like with so far reading this event, it's just like it just made me miss going back to the Lost Light stuff. I was like, because it's just not because it's a lot of this stuff in this issue, like this event is not as interesting as it, in my opinion, because it's the stuff that just doesn't work.
The plot stuff isn't interesting. It's the character stuff that makes these books interesting. When there are character moments, that's when the good stuff's happening. When it's just people running around, it's like, well, why do I care about this,
Yes,
true.
exactly.
And that a problem extends to events of any size, because a lot of events are really shitty.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. I love the stuff with Rodimus and Orion. I love stuff with Cyclonus. We didn't talk about him that much, but
Yeah,
he's a consistent presence throughout the book, and I think he's really neat. And of course, I talked about Starscream. I love watching him stumble from failure to failure. It's so good.
The good thing about Starscream is no matter if you love him or hate him, anytime he fails, you're like, yes, more.
Much more Starscream. I mean, also thinking about it too. Yeah, like Cyclonus. Yeah, like he does have a presence to it, but he's not really in the book a lot unless it's the Dead Universe stuff. Hold on. Chris is
popping off.
Yeah, Chris said he would want a vehicle with his helmet. Like, and he says anyone who is saying no is lying. I'm not lying, Christian. That's dumb. I don't want to drive around in a vehicle with my face on it. That's weird. Is that did you guys ever play the Linkin Park song for the end?
I don't know if we can do it. It's Lunkin Park.
Lunkin Park. Even if we did, I don't know if we could play that. So, copyright and all that. But I mean, shout out Christian. The thing is, overall, this first half I thought there was some cool stuff there. The Starscream stuff being a bitch is great. I love that shit. I think it's fun. Metroplex showing up, also great. Love that. Love Metroplex. Now that Metroplex even being addressed is great. That city, that gargantuan big dick transformer. It's awesome. I mean, yeah, and all the Lost Light stuff is great in it. I think it's really fun. But like the other stuff with Bumblebee and all that, and Prowl, I wish could be a little bit better. That's just me.
I think that extends like problems from Robots in Disguise, which obviously we didn't read for this show.
Yeah.
But a lot of that comic, anything that with B is just probably like, oh, you need to do something about leadership, and B's will like, oh, I don't know.
That's true.
And that continues for like 20 issues.
I definitely seemed to enjoy the issues written by
Roberts.
The other writer who were not
the other writer.
the Robots writer I didn't enjoy quite as much.
Yeah.
Barbara.
The Robots writer, I think he gets better because we are going to look at some of the stuff he does after this book. Or at least we're going to do a volume of it and see if we like it or not. So,
yeah. But
I think it gets better once they like change the direction of the book, but we'll see.
But like again, another lesson I learned is that like I really want to read this goddamn Drift series because I don't want to read this event. Because I'd rather read the Drift series more than this event. When are we gonna get to that?
Yeah, well, let's talk about that a little bit. So next episode is finishing up with volume 2 of this. That covers issues 7 through 12 of the Dark Cybertron trade. If you want to read it in the individual comics, use the wiki because I did not put the numbers for those.
Sure.
And we'll be doing that November 28th. That's a Monday at 7:30. Will it be at 7:30? You never know.
Probably not. Probably not.
Probably not. It mostly depends on Mikey, but we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see. You should put CPT after that. CPT after that. It's 7:30 CPT, so 8:30.
But anyway, after that, we're gonna take a break for December, so we don't have to do this during the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get back, we'll have our season 2 of the More Than Meets the Eye, and jump into the Robots in Disguise a little bit.
Okay. Awesome.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan.
We get a break in here.
Yeah.
In case you aren't sick of these guys already.
I'm looking forward to doing the rest of it after the break, though, because I'm fair. I don't know about Matt, but I'm fairly enjoying reading these. Reading most of these. Some of these. I think it's a fun series. I didn't expect to like it as much as I thought I would.
Yeah, I love shit. I'm super into it.
Yeah, but yeah. So I guess we'll close it off then. I'll check off the thingy. But yeah, thanks for the people that are watching this or will watch this. We appreciate it. As always, check out more content on the channel. So obviously, we're going to be doing this episode 7 in the next 2 weeks. But for now, we got some of the highlights. Again, I'm only doing one highlight a week just because it's editing. It takes a lot of time, people. So I gotta cut it down a little bit. I have other things to do. But yeah, so check out I think the last clip was Megatron versus Overlord. That was really fun. If people had checked that out. Also, we did our first interview with writer Pornsock Pinchachotes from Infidel, which was a lot of fun. So if people want to check some of that out, it was a really great conversation. Love talking with the guy. So that's also on the channel as well. Let's look out for another clip I'm dropping tomorrow, involving Daredevil. Our thoughts on Daredevil and She-Hulk and how he's low-key a whore. That's gonna be kind of fun to check out as well. And also, people, we have a bell icon, so if you want to hit the bell thingy, so you can get notified of all of our content that we drop. Really appreciate the support. We've been growing quite exponentially. We're at like 68 subscribers, so like at this rate, with all y'all Transformers nutheads, crackheads being on watching our videos, we may reach 100 by the end of the year. So that's kind of a goal we're kind of reaching, I guess, a little bit.
2 things. Christian has tons of comments.
No, I'm not. He's not getting them. He's no. You're talking shit. I don't like it.
And 2, do we want to plug sex criminals at all, or are we undecided on that?
So, I mean, that's more of a Matt thing. Matt, do you want to maybe try to do issue volume episode 2 at some point? Do you know? It's up to you, man.
I don't know. I don't know when. We need to talk about that. I don't know. We haven't talked about it.
Yeah,
we don't have a schedule like we do.
Yeah, we'll do sex criminals soon. Next week. Soon. But yeah, that's basically it. Just thanks a lot, people, and we'll probably see y'all on the next one. All right, catch y'all later. Get home safe. Bye bye.